Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to another show. Tonight, we got one of the greatest shows on dirt, that being the ASRC Pro Late Models, as we get ready to rock and roll here in the group qualifying. Tonight is round number 8 here at the Lernerville Speedway. We see only one wall at this racetrack. So, if you're tuning in, able to chat with us, let us know what your guess is for the over the berm count tonight. I say we at least have 2 cars over the berm when it's all said and done, but we will take a look and keep an eye out. Also tonight, we got to give a big shout out to our race sponsor coming in last second, that being FMS Rapid Graphics out here with us as we get cars ready to rock and roll. The first car out on the speedway for this group number 1 is going to be the 1 car, that being piloted by Tanner Tallarico as he gets that thing up to speed here for his first lap in qualifying. We'll keep an eye here on Tanner Tallarico. Also in this group, we got Tim Rogers in the 48 machine as Tanner Tallarico will start lap number 1. We'll get the time and scoring on the left side of our screen, get that rocking and rolling. Also out on this group is Blake Steele to make up the 3 cars. Lap number 1 here for the 1. He gets a little bit tight off of turn number 4, but that will put him P number 2. Also in this group is the 48 Skull Machine of Tim Rogers. He's ripping that lip here and looking pretty solid as he puts in a 14.69. Very nice from that driver in the 48 machine from Binghamton, New York. Also in this group was the 12 machine, the quickest in group number 1, that being Blake Steele as he pulls that thing off the backstretch down pit road. Blake Steele with the quickest time here, so awesome job to the number 12 machine. Now we'll get ready for our next group, that being out on the speedway. It looks like, I want to say, Tanner Hutchins, Bobby Mattingly, and maybe Scott Erie as we get ready for group number 2 to rock and roll and put up some times. As Blake Steele still sitting pretty solid in the points. I want to say he made up a little bit, staying right in, I believe, that 5th position in points. So Blake Steele looking for another solid run here at the Lernerville Speedway. As it looks like our next group ready to rock and roll. As the first car we'll be looking at is that pink double H machine, or in the timing scoring, that being Tanner Hutchins, one of the FMS wrapped cars out here. So big shout out to that sponsor here as we get that up on the screen. As Tanner Hutchins will start lap number 1 off of turn number 4. Hutchins looking pretty solid. As you can tell, that first lap does count, but it's an out lap as cars aren't fully up to song yet. So Tanner Hutchins off of turn number 4 here for his first lap. Tanner Hutchins will improve his lap to a 14.57, so very solid lap. Also in this group is Brandon Marlowe in that 37 machine. Brandon Marlowe, part of the Hot Lap Heroes group. Marlowe still looking for that first win this season, has been very close, but still has not been able to do it. Also in this group, Jacob Lassiter, he puts that thing P number 3 on the speedway, so Lassiter looking pretty good as he will park that thing. Lassiter will sit P number 3, but right now, still Blake Steele with the quick time as we have the 91 machine of Aaron Kirby rolling out on the speedway. This is the guy, if you want to get a good rap from him, or even in real life, be sure to hit him up from Aaron Kirby with the FMS Rapid Graphics. You can see all the ways to contact him from Facebook and whatnot, so be sure to get a hold of him for some sweet stuff, as this is of course one of Aaron's real life cars, this paint scheme based out of here at the Lernerville Speedway. Kirby for lap number 1 will get that thing up to song and see what he can do as he's right on that cushion here in 3 and 4. This will be a pretty solid lap from the 91 machine. Kirby will go P number 7, so the guy that jumped way up ties Blake Steele with the time, that being this 3M machine of Bobby Manley. Manley looking very solid, looking to improve just to get a 1,002 take pole. Mattingly will not get the job done as Kirby goes even faster, so Aaron Kirby goes P number 1. Also in this group, David Payton in the 38 ASRC machine. He will sit P number 8. Will not be the slowest on the timing scoring. We'll try and improve this lap time here off of turn number 4 for the 38 ASRC machine. As Payne will not improve that lap time, so he will stay P number 8 as he pulls that thing off the speedway as we get ready for our next group. Looks like this group will be led by the 81 machine of Scott Erie. Also in this group is the man that is very tough to beat at the 13M of Trevor Mattingly. Also in this group, it looks like, I want to say the 78 machine of Michael Guerin also in this group to make up group number 4. As Erie will get that 81 machine up to Song down the backstretch and will start his real first time lap here off of turn number 4. Struggling a little bit to get that front end set, but Erie making sure he gets that thing pitched into the corner. We see a little bit different line from the 81 machine. We'll have to see what this does for the time as Erie will come around 3 and 4 here for his first time lap. Big time sideways off of turn number 4. That won't be a very solid lap. But now we look at the 13M who has that thing hooked up on rails, and lap number 1 goes P number 1. That is Trevor Mattingly. He'll look to improve this lap time already as he is the quick time here. And this lap looking even better. He's got that thing in a groove here on the mail on that top side. A little bit of traffic in front of him, but it will be enough. Also in this group is a 78 machine of Michael Guerin. He will put that thing P number 9 with a 14.71 as Guerin will bring that thing off of pit road. But Trevor Mattingly picks up quick time. We'll have to see if anyone else can do anything about it, but I think that will probably do it for group qualifying. We might have one last car, that being the 009 or the 9 machine of Dane Lloyd out here on the speedway to make up our final qualifier. Looks like Deontay here does not make the call here for qualifying, as we'll take a look here at Dane Lloyd in the 9 machine as he comes off of 4 for his first time lap up to Song. He'll get a piece of the wall into turn number 1, so this will not count this lap. So Lloyd will have to make his money lap here off of turn number 4 and try and keep that car off of the wall here for this next lap. But Lloyd, with that first lap, slowest, he'll try and improve this off down the backstretch for the final time for the 9. This lap looking very solid. You hear him get out of the gas big time, send that front end, making sure he doesn't go over that banking. But Dane Lloyd will put that thing P number 9 when it's all said and done. But Trevor Mattingly once again getting the job done. He will put that thing quick time here for the FMS race at Lernerville. As can this guy B-Stop Mattingly is on a roll and continuing it with the quick time with a 14.50. Aaron Kirby will put it P number 2 with a 14.51. Third will be Bobby Mattingly, Trevor's uncle, with a 14.53. Blake Steele will be 4th with a 14.55. And rounding out the top 5 is the 04 or the double OH machine of Tanner Hutchins with a 14.57. But very close times throughout this field here tonight at the Lernerville Speedway. We will have to keep an eye and see what kind of racing we'll have, because as you can tell, a very technical track. You know, you want to be up on the cushion, but you cannot afford to push it over that cushion, because then you'll be paying the price and be shuffling a lot more than just a few spots on the raceway. We'll go over some race information tonight at the Lernerville Speedway. Tonight is the 3/8 mile dirt track, clay oval here of the Lernerville Speedway. A nice 79-degree day. A little bit of humidity, so the track will be fairly tacky with 45%. And a big wind tonight here with 9 miles per hour. Also, we got to give a huge shout out to all the series sponsors jumping on here, from AJ's Auto Detailing, Hubco, Metal Fab, QuickTime Motorsports Media, Pay to Win Setups, Race1.us, the RC Pro Shop, and of course, tonight's big sponsor is FMS Rapid Graphics. They're also the person to get a hold of for the big time Biggest Mover Award here in each of these races. So they're coming on strong here with the ASRC Pro Late Models. Also, if you're looking for a great dirt series that is, of course, broadcasted just like tonight, be sure to check out AmericanSimRacingClub.com. And if you're looking for some great broadcasts, be sure to check out the Turn 3 Racing Network, as I believe we have one guy jumping in here late. Looks like Daryl Larson is making the call, so we'll have to see if I think he'll miss qualifying, but he should be tagging along in these heat races as we get ready to rock and roll for some heat races here tonight. Be sure to let me know who you're cheering on in the YouTube chat lands and who you're excited to watch, as this place always puts on a great show here. A lot of racing action, as I believe we do get Daryl Larson trying to get there out in that 5 machine, part of the Hot Lap Heroes crew. Looks like he'll just, I believe, miss qualifying. Maybe he might get a lap, but we'll take a look at the 5 car just sneaking into the session here, so we'll put the camera on him. This is Daryl Larson in the 5 machine. He's looking to put down a time. We'll see what he can do. Absolutely zero practice from this 5 car, so we'll see what he can do jumping in. As he puts down a time here, we'll see what this time is, as of course he gets that thing up to song. He gets that thing where he wants to on the speedway. Looks like it should be a pretty solid lap. That should probably put him around mid-pack. It puts him P number 13 with a 15.500. He'll try and improve this lap as he comes down the backstretch for the final time. And this is Daryl Larson in the 5 off of turn number 4. Daryl will go P number 13. He'll improve it just behind Tanner Tallarico, so that will probably do it for qualifying, as Trevor Mattingly once again still able to hold on to the quick time here at Lernerville. As we get ready now for the heat race, we got cars lining on up for heat race number 1 here tonight at the Lernerville Speedway. As of course we get no real good shot of the lineup, so we're going to look at this and get a nice view of the iRacing pace truck as we run through tonight's starting order for heat race number 1. Trevor Mattingly in the 13M will 13T, will be leading us to green. Starting to his outside is his uncle in the 3M. That will be Bobby Mattingly. Row number 2 will be made up of Tanner Hutchins in the 04 or the double OH machine on the speedway. 4th will be Tim Rogers in the Skull 48 machine. 5th will be Dane Lloyd in the double 09. 6th will be Dave Payne in the 38 machine. 7th is Daryl Larson in the 5. And rounding out the field tonight, I don't think he made the call for the heat race. That will be Deontay Hero in the Buckshot machine. As we got cars rolling on the speedway here, Trevor Mattingly leading us to green. Can anyone stop this guy? He has been on a roll here recently. He has made it, I want to say, 5 in a row here with the ASRC Pro late models. And off of turn number 4, I believe the pace car leads us to the wave lap. So get up on your feet, fans. It's the wave lap for heat race number 1. Be sure to give your favorite driver a wave if they are out here for heat race number 1. As next time by, we'll be going green flag racing. Trevor Mattingly in the 13T will be leading us to green. To his outside, Bobby Mattingly in the 3M row number 2. Tanner Hutchins and Tim Rogers. We'll have to see if anyone can stop this 13T, as he can fire off whenever he feels comfortable. And we'll probably jump right to that top side and put that right rear on the cushion. And off of turn number 4, the field comes. We are green flag racing here at Lernerville. And down the backstretch, the field comes. Trevor Mattingly leads the way. Bobby Mattingly in second. Tanner Hutchins able to jump to that top side. Tim Rogers trying to make a move here on the low side. He'll jump back up to the top side though and file on in. So everyone single file around the top side here at the Lernerville Speedway. 3 and 4, the field will come, and everyone keeps their cars on track. So everyone doing what they need to do here in the heat race. But Bobby Mattingly putting a little bit of pressure that to our race leader of Trevor Mattingly. We'll have to jump up there here and see how it looks. But Trevor Mattingly able to hang on to it. Bobby Manley will slide into second as we are now closing in on halfway in this heat race, but Trevor Manley keeps that thing going. One car in trouble. Dan Lloyd already to the pit, so Lloyd will pull off early in this heat race. So not sure what kind of issues he had, but not liking something in that 9 machine. So we will see him back as Tim Rogers goes up and over on the front stretch. That will put out the yellow flag, as I believe we stay somehow green flag racing. Tim Rogers able to get that car rolling, but we stay green somehow in the speedway as we see the 2 laps to go here, Mark, for these drivers. And off of turn number 4, Trevor Mattingly will see the white flag here. 1 more lap to go here at the Lernerville Speedway. Trevor Mattingly doing everything right like he always does. This man makes little mistakes, but through 3 and 4, Trevor Mattingly trying a different line. Maybe we'll see some more of that in the future, but he almost loses the race lead to Bobby Mattingly, who was right there ready to pounce there at the end, but not quite enough. Trevor Mattingly will pick up the heat win. As we get ready to roll here for heat race number 2. Aaron Kirby in the 91 machine, FMS Rapid Graphics machine, will be leading us to green. Starting to his outside is Blake Steele in the 12. Row number 2 will be made up of Jacob Lassiter in the 151 with Brandon Marlowe in the 37. Row number 3 is Michael Guerin in the 78 with Tanner Tallarico in the 1. And starting shotgun for heat race number 2 is Scott Erie in the 81 machine. As we get cars ready to rock and roll, we got them rolling on the speedway here, so we'll take a look at tonight's starting order. As Jacob Lassiter misses out on the heat race. Not sure what is up with that 151 machine, but it looks like he will be missing the call here for the heat race, as this is the wave lap, folks. So be sure to give your favorite driver a wave here in heat race number 2, as we'll have 6 cars getting ready to duke it out to decide the starting order for the outside row for the main event. Main event will be 50 laps around the speedway, so it'll go by quick. So starting order is very, very important for these drivers. Aaron Kirby will try and keep this field behind him as the iRacing pace truck heads off of pit road and we get ready to go green flag racing action as we wait on the 91 machine as the field comes through 3 and 4, and Aaron Kirby fires on off. We go green flag racing for heat race number 2. Guerin looks to the inside of Blake Steele. He'll try and make something happen on that inside line, but you can see how dominant that top side is, as now Brandon Marlowe will try and make the move on the 78 machine. 78 machine will have a gap to jump to that high side. He'll slot back in the 4th position as Blake Steele right against that cushion there off of turn number 2. He's trying to put that right rear just above that slick stuff, right into the tacky, right where the banking's the most, but it's got to be careful to not throw a right rear over that cushion as we get 1 car off the speedway. That's 81 machine of Scott Erie having some sort of issue down the backstretch, but we stay green as he continues to roll on the speedway. As Brandon Marlowe looking on the attack here down the backstretch. He was looking to the inside of the 12 machine of Blake Steele, not able to make it work. It seems like that top side very dominant here at the beginning part of the run as Marlowe almost jumped to the cushion. He didn't get that front end set, and that car pushed like a dump truck. He almost found his way up over the cushion. Now Blake Steele doesn't have any pressure in his mirror. We'll see if he has anything for our race leader, that being Aaron Kirby with 3 laps to go. Blake Steele entering the corner a little bit straighter, a little bit higher up. He's able to get a big run and carry just a smidge more center speed than our race leader, but Kirby doing everything right. No big mistakes As that time by, we see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go for heat race number 2. Through 3 and 4, this is the battle for the race lead. The 91 machine will see the white flag here. One more lap for these drivers for heat race number 2. As Kirby will head down the backstretch for the final time. Blake Steele in tow. A little bit further back, Brandon Marlowe trying to see if any mistakes, but none will be made. As off of turn number 4, Aaron Kirby gets the job done, does everything he needs as he picks up the heat win. Blake Steele in second. Brandon Marlowe will finish in the 3rd position here for heat race number 2. As we get ready for a little bit of warm-up in this race, we'll be talking to these 2 drivers up here in the warm-up, that being, of course, Trevor Mattingly, the man, and Aaron Kirby. So we'll be dialing up those drivers here just in 1 second. So don't go anywhere, folks. As we get them to the waiting room and, of course, dialing them up to hear what they have to say and what their outlooks here for the race are. But I believe we can get Trevor Mattingly here in a second. Trevor, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. Heck of a job. You put that thing with the quick time here tonight, and then, of course, you pick up the Heat 1 win. How's that 13T machine driving for you tonight?
Oh, it feels good, man. It's gonna out here working on the top side right now, getting it burnt off, and maybe we can get a couple racing lines going by lap 20 or so. Well, it's not a train race, but hopefully we can keep her out front and get the dub.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on a roll here, Trevor. I've already lost count of how many of you've gotten in a row, as it's been way too many to count now, Trevor. And I tell you what, you will be the man to beat. We saw a little bit of a different line through 3 and 4 that final time and almost got passed by Bobby Mattingly. Were you maybe seeing a line maybe later in this race?
No, I just went through the corner and held it to the floor. I was spinning tires a whole lot right there. That was just a messing around deal there.
Okay, wasn't sure if you're seeing if there's some groove or some speed down there, but yeah, I tell you what, heck of a heat race for that 13T machine. And as we're in the second half, you know, what's kind of the game plan looking forward, and what's the game plan for 50 laps tonight? I mean, you're pretty good at making minimal mistakes, but here, you know, if you make a mistake, it can really punish you, as there's no walls around most of the speedway.
So I'm gonna call it now. It's gonna be middle, and then it's gonna be high middle and 1 and 2 after about maybe 10 laps, and it's gonna be high side 3 and 4, and we're just gonna try to run steady and keep it under us and keep it on the track. That's the plan.
Yep, that's all you can do, Trevor. So we're gonna go let you go, but before we let you go, if you want to give anyone a quick shout out before we let you go and get dialed in for this main event.
Yeah, team at Speed Shop, FMS Rapid Graphics. Those are the 2 main ones. You all, of course, for putting on the broadcast and this great league we run.
Alrighty, well, appreciate it, Trevor, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you. If everything goes according to the plan, we'll be talking to you by the end of the night. So best of luck to you, buddy, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yes, sir. Talk to you in a little bit.
Alrighty, folks, and now we'll dial up our heat win number 2 driver, that being the 91 machine of Aaron Kirby. Aaron, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Got you loud and clear.
Alrighty, man. Heck of a job. You just get beaten out by Trevor Mattingly for the quick time. Heck of a time by that 91 machine, and then you do everything right to pick up heat race number 2. How is this 91 machine here tonight?
Well, right now, it's pretty bad fast, actually. It's hooked up around the top. This setup's a little different than what we would normally run, but I got some practice laps with it. Really like it. Kind of helps. Got a new racing rig, too, that's got me pretty comfortable sitting here. Feels like I'm in my real car, so kind of helps.
Oh, yeah, that does, Aaron. If you can keep as many factors as you can, the same for a race car and a racetrack, let's say, you know, it always helps the driver. So, yeah, everyone better watch out as you get even more comfortable and even more into the zone, I tell you what, you'll be a force to reckon with. And Aaron, you're looking bad fast, like you said, here at the Lernerville Speedway tonight.
Yeah, man, appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, and with that, you can start on the outside of the front row, that being the outside of Trevor Mattingly. Do you think you got anything for that 13T, and what's the game plan for these next 50 laps?
Run clean, stay on the track. That's the biggest two things. No, Trevor's my teammate, so I know he's going to run me as clean as he can, unless, like last week we had a little hiccup with some net code that caused some issues. So as long as nothing like that happens, knock on wood, I'd say we're gonna have a lot of fun. My goal is just run clean, don't mess Trevor up. He's on a good streak, and he's my teammate. As bad as I'd like to beat him, I also just don't want to mess him up. But no, I think it's gonna be good. We've spent some time practicing here, and I've got this thing hooked up around the top right now, but I'm sure it's gonna slick off soon.
Yeah, I tell you what, Aaron, you look bad fast on that top side. But before we let you go, first we got to give a huge shout out to you coming on with the sponsor of this race. So huge shout out to FMS Rapid Graphics. And before we let you go, just a quick word for who you got to thank here for the 91 car.
Warrior Race Cars, T-Mat Speed Shop, my company, Granny's Garage, which is Tanner's. Let's see, I've got ATC bolts. I've got New Arrow, Sim Magic, all on the car. And biggest thing, just a big shout out for the whole team. We've actually come up with a team name. We are Kentucky Motorsports, because some of us are from Tennessee, some of us from Kentucky. So I'm hoping we all do pretty good tonight.
All righty. Well, best of luck to you, Aaron, and best of luck to Kentucky crew here tonight. So, Aaron, good luck, and hopefully we'll catch you on the flip side of these 50 laps.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, folks, that will do it from our heat race winners, and we got cars lined up on the grid, so we'll run through tonight's starting order for the main event here to do battle for these 50 laps. Starting on the pole will be Trevor Mattingly. We heard a little bit from him. I'm sure we'll be hearing from him here at the end of the night. Starting to his outside is the 91 machine of Aaron Kirby. Row number 2, that being Bobby Mattingly in the 3M with Blake Steele in the 12. Row number 3, Tanner Hutchins in the 04 with Brandon Marlowe in the 37. 7th will be David Payton in the 38 machine. 8th is Michael Guerin in the 78. 9th will be Daryl Larson, in the 5 machine. Rounding out the top 10 is Tanner Tallarico in the 1. 11th goes to Tim Rogers in the 48 machine. 12th is Scott Erie in the 81. Of course, it's not going to pop on up, but 13th will be Jacob Lassiter in the 151 machine, and Dan Lloyd in the 9 will round out the field, as this is the wave lap, folks, for these drivers. So be sure to give your favorite driver a wave as these guys get ready to go and do battle for 50 laps here at the Lernerville Speedway. Trevor Mattingly will be leading us to green. Aaron Kirby in 2nd. 3rd, Bobby Mattingly in 4th. Blake Steele, as we wait for the iRacers pace car to head off of pit road, and through 3 and 4 the field comes. We get ready for some dirt racing action here at the Lernerville Speedway. Trevor Mattingly jumps on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing for 50 laps around this 3/8 mile clay oval. Trevor Mattingly gets away with a great start. A little bit further back, some contact throughout the field, but everyone stays on track, as lap number 1 will go to Trevor Mattingly. As some 3-wide racing action, Daryl Larson trying to make his way through this field here in that 5 machine. Had to start pretty deep, now trying to work over Tim Rogers, who's trying to work on that inside line in that Skull number 48 machine. A little bit further up, Tanner Hutchins trying to get around that 91 machine of Aaron Kirby. Kirby up in that slick, not quite getting the run that he needs. So 3rd place will be Tanner Hutchins, as now Aaron Kirby will look to the inside. Gets a little bit out of shape off of turn number 4. He has to pedal that race car, and we get a yellow flag on the speedway. Not sure where the slow car may be at, as I believe it was the 78 machine of Michael Guerin, as you see him a little bit slow down the front stretch. So we'll take a look at the replay here and see what may have happened to the 78 car, as you see Guerin going down the back stretch here, heading into turn number 3. He enters in that slick stuff, and we'll see if what happens as, yeah, oh man, he jumps the cushion. So the first car to jump the cushion here tonight and gets a piece of that front stretch wall. That'll put that left rear just out on the racing surface. And with cars coming on by, we get the yellow flag for the 78 machine. So we have the first car jump the cushion. Garen, at least not a ton of damage to that 78 machine. Of course, a little bit of right side as he did get the wall. One of the worst spots probably to jump that cushion is there off of turn number 4, but looked like that 78 car entered in the slick, never really got that front end set, and it slid right through the slick and up and over the cushion goes. And once you jump that cushion, folks, you're pretty much along for the ride as gravity starts to take on over, and the rest is history. As up front, we'll see the one to go here this time by at the start finish line. Trevor Mattingly will be by himself. Looks like row number 2, Bobby Mattingly will elect the top side. That'll put Tanner Hutchins down low in third, and then the rest of the field will slot on in as we're able to do 5 laps there of the 50. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing action here off of turn number 4 as the field heads down the back stretch. As the field heads through 3 and 4, we wait for the 13T. He jumps on the loud pedal nice and early, gets away with a great start, and we are going back green flag racing action as Tanner Hutchins tries the slider. Not quite able enough as Bobby Mattingly just keeps that double OH machine pinned down enough as once again Hutchins will go down to that inside line. He's trying to make that middle work, and it looks like Trevor Mattingly, he kind of called it here early. He said, hey, it's going to be the middle groove in 1 and 2 for the beginning part of the run, and then 3 and 4 is always going to be that top side. As that seems to be working as Bobby Mattingly able to hold off Tanner Hutchins. A little bit further back, Brandon Marlowe trying to get around Blake Steele in the 12 machine. Marlowe looking to that inside line. Once again, trying to keep that all 4 cars below the slick so he can keep that thing hooked up and off of turn number 4. Marlowe able to get the pass done. He goes back to that bottom side, trying to make it work. Now sets his sights on Kirby, who gets big time out of shape off of turn number 4. This could open up the door for Marlowe. They go door to door here off of turn number 4. And this is the battle for 4th on the speedway. Marlowe trying to be one of the biggest movers of the race. That biggest mover, though, is the 51 machine of Jacob Lasser, driving his way through this field, at least on the top side right now. Lasser up 5 positions from where he started. He had to miss that heat race. Not sure if maybe these connection issues is what caused it, but he's still having a little bit of issues as he continues to run the top side. But Marlowe not able to get around that 91 machine, so they will single file on out here on lap number 11 of 50. As it looks like Kirby, it's 1 car off of the speedway, that being the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. He's jumped the cushion here, so he will get that thing back up to speed, back on the raceway, as I believe lappers are coming, and he'll take that thing pit side. He'll say that's enough, so Tim Rogers will bow out of the session. As Marlowe from the attack on Aaron Kirby, now under fire from the 12 machine of Blake Steele. So these two go side by side. Blake Steele trying to reclaim that 5th position from the 37 machine. Blake Steele finding some grip here, running a little bit below the slick stuff, but now you can see some dirt thrown up on the slick stuff, so now people can kind of run that middle groove. And Blake Steele back up to the very top side here once again as we get a yellow flag on the speedway. We'll have to see where it was at, but not sure, as it looks like all cars are about moving on the speedway, so not sure what may have brought out the yellow. We'll look maybe a little bit deeper in this field and try and figure out what car was out of shape during this yellow flag here, as these two were side by side, at least in my timing scoring. So maybe it was something around this on the speedway, as it looks like everyone else is about rolling. As, oh man, maybe the caution was for the 48 car. Tim Rogers getting that thing back on the speedway, had to stop, let everyone by, and maybe that's what brought it out here on lap number 15. as it looked like everyone else, folks, were rolling on the speedway. So haven't heard too much from race control, but I believe that was the issue. As we get ready to line everyone back on up here, Trevor Mattingly leading all 15 laps of this race so far in the 13T. Bobby Mattingly will elect to restart on the top lane, or maybe he'll choose the inside. He has till the start finish line to decide, but he was looking to that top side, now back to down to the bottom. So Bobby Mattingly will elect that inside line, try and get that jump with the 13T, as the rest of the field will slot on in, and we get ready to go back. Green flag racing here for the FMS Rapid Graphix 50 here at the Lernerville Speedway. And you know what, folks? We're going to go have some fun with this restart off of turn number 4. We'll do a little turn 3, turn it up. So I'm going to go stop talking and turn it up. As we get a yellow flag here on the speedway, I believe we had one car end up and over. So we're going to take a look here and see what brought out this yellow flag. But I believe the 78 machine of Michael Guerin, oh, he gets some contact from the 5 machine, that being Daryl Larson. And Michael Guerin, his night goes from bad to worse as he ends up and over. But I think they might be able to get that car back out on the speedway in time. As we'll take a look here one more time as we ride on board with the 78 machine off of turn number 4. You'll see the 5 car just come on up. Yeah, Guerin was trying to give room to the 81, the 5 car not realizing that he was doing that. And this Lernerville wall with the banking, very easy to ramp up and over, and that car will slide on and through for a while. So Guerin will go back to pit side and probably try and get back out there if he can, but we are, looks like, almost ready to go back green flag racing here. As next time by, I believe we'll try and go 1 to green. As that looks like the case, the lights are out on the iRacing pace truck. So next time by, we'll be going green flag racing, as I think Guerin is retiring that 78 machine. As I believe also another issue, Jacob Laster, I think he had some more connection issues, so we won't see him continue his streak of podium finishes for that 51. And off of turn number 4, the field comes, waiting on the 13T, jumps on the loud pedal here. We go back to green flag racing action at the Lernerville Speedway. Trevor Mattingly trying to increase that gap as much as he can. He goes all the way to that top side. Is one car off the speedway. That's Bobby Mattingly. He somehow brings that car back on the speedway, 3-wheeling as Kirby tried to shut the door. Not quite clear enough as Kirby goes back to that bottom side, but Bobby Mattingly, I don't know how he saved that car. That thing was 3-wheeling big time. That left front way up in the air, but he was able to muscle that car back onto the speedway and not even lose a position as he goes back to the 2nd position. A big mover right now is that 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe, once again trying to work over Aaron Kirby. Looks like this top side back to the dominant factor as Kirby, oh, big time checkup. Kirby lost the front end, had to slam on the brakes. That will lose him 2 spots as now Tanner Hutchins goes around the top side. So Kirby's car, not sure if these lines are changing and he can't quite get back in the rhythm with these multiple cautions, or this track is definitely changing for these drivers as we still have more than half the race to go, but Kirby finds himself now back in the 6th position. He'll try and bring that 91 machine back to the front if he can. He's still committed, folks, to that middle lane, but you got to wonder, is it paying off? There's a reason why there's not too many cars in the middle lane right now, but one car trying a lot of different lines. That the 13T of Trevor Mattingly, nice and smooth on the very top side in 3 and 4. And then 1 and 2, folks, he's going down all the way to the bottom, slides that car all the way up. So he's doing the slider line big time. He's the only car really going that low in 1 and 2. We'll jump on board with Bobby Mattingly, see what he's doing in the second position. You can see how big of an arc Trevor Mattingly is doing, but you can see the speed it's killing him down the straightaway as Bobby Mattingly closes in almost 2 car lengths by the time they get into turn number 3. But I tell you what, Trevor Mattingly is very good in 3 and 4. As we'll take a look here for a few laps at this shot here. As you can see now, Trevor Mattingly jumps back to the top side, sees what Bobby Mattingly's doing in his mirror, so he'll try and see if he can run this line better than Bobby Mattingly or make Bobby Mattingly go out of the preferred groove if he does have a challenge for the race lead. As you go a little bit further back, battle for third on the speedway. Blake Steele looking to get the spot from Brandon Marlowe, so these guys duking it out here. As Marlowe able to hold him on off, but the question will be for how long? As this is the battle for third on the speedway here, folks. As it looks like we get a little bit of issues, as you can see with the lap counter, that we have about 25 to go, so that thing will continue to click down. Not sure why it's double overlaying on my end, so I'll keep you guys up to count with the lap time, but we have 25 laps to go here in the feature event. Trevor Mattingly continues to lead the way over the 3 car of Bobby Mattingly as he jumps over the cushion down the backstretch. Once again, able to hang on to that car, as third place is still being held on by Brandon Marlowe, with Blake Steele and Tanner Hutchins right there in the wings. Also, a little bit of battle for 9th on the speedway. Darrell Larson trying to make a move on the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Both of those cars on the low side in 1 and 2, and kind of that middle to low groove even in 3 and 4. As Tanner's finding some rhythm here, starting to pull a little bit away from that 5 car. Also a little bit in the mid-pack. Dave Payne has been in a 1 groove show. He's been committed to that top side all night long. Not sure if he's got that car just set up for that top side, but we haven't seen that 38 of Dave Payne really move around from that top lane at all here tonight at the Lernerville Speedway. And it's kind of paying off as he's slowly reeling in that 91 machine of Aaron Kirby. Also 1 car looks like about to go a lap down here. That is the 81 machine of Scott Erie. Erie just has to hold his line for these race leaders. Can kind of pick wherever he feels most comfortable, but what we ask from the lappers is, of course, hold your line and don't do anything unexpected, as we go do a little bit of battle on the raceway. Sliders being thrown, that being between Blake Steele and Tanner Hutchins. This is the battle here for 4th on the speedway, as Hutchins will give the slider back as Steele, big run down the backstretch. He goes right to the back bumper, has to jam on the brakes, and that will hurt his attempt for a slider, as Steele will go to the middle line in 3 and 4 and lose a little bit of ground to Hutchins as he ramps the wall entering turn number 1. Keeps that car underneath him though. As 1 car slow up at the top of the raceway. That looks like the 81 machine of Scott Erie. So that will bring out the yellow flag, folks. And with this yellow flag, we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks. We come back to green flag racing action here at the Lernerville Speedway. And of course, we got Trevor Mattingly leading the way here over Bobby Mattingly and the 3M machine. Down the backstretch, the field comes. So a little bit of issues with our time and scoring. So we're going to go back to manual, and we're going to talk about the racing action. We see as Blake Steele right on the back bumper of Tanner Hutchins. He throws the slider, just closes the door on the double OH machine. He has to back out of it big time. So we'll have to see the gloves already being thrown off as Hutchins gets a piece of the wall down the front stretch. As Hutchins tries to mount the attack back on the 12 machine of Blake Steele. So, as you can tell in these closing laps, folks, a lot of drivers getting ready to duke it out. Gloves are coming off as we see Hutchins go back down to that inside lane. He'll try and make a move on Blake Steele. He'll close the door right on his back bumper here under the corner, but he can't make too big of a mistake as he's got Aaron Kirby in that 91 machine. That middle line kind of coming on in for that 91 machine here late in this race. So once again, they'll go door to door off at turn number 4, but Blake Steele with the big run from that top side, going to be very hard to pass him if he doesn't make a mistake in that 12 machine, as Hutchins throws it down in there in 1 and 2 here once again, and trying to make something work and keep that 91 machine of Kirby behind him. Up front, Trevor Mattingly trying some different lines, but still keeping a lot of good pace in that 13T machine, as Bobby Mattingly continues to keep the pressure there in the 3M, but he's got to hope that the nephew makes a mistake if he wants to be able to mount an attack at all. As once again, Blake Steele, Tanner Hutchins still duking it out. Hutchins with a better run. They go side by side into turn number 3. So this battle is far from over as Hutchins getting in the groove. Blake Steele a little bit in the wall. So this could open up the door for Hutchins. The mistake that he needed from the 12 machine of Steele. As off of turn number 4, the field comes. Trevor Mattingly gets the job done. He will pick up the race win here in tonight's race, as Bobby Mattingly will pick up P number 2. Brandon Marlowe will be P number 3. Blake Steele was able to hold off Tanner Hutchins, but Trevor Mattingly here once again, folks, gets the job done. He's able to keep that streak alive as he picks up, I believe, his 6th win in a row in the 13T machine. He'll pull that thing down to victory lane, and don't go anywhere, folks, as we'll be back on the other side with some interviews from these top 3. So we'll catch you on the flip side. Don't go anywhere, folks.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here from the Lernerville Raceway, and first we'll be dialing up the 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe. Brandon, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet here in the booth.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Alrighty, Brandon. I tell you what, that 37 machine looked pretty hooked up on that top side. You're able to make some moves early in this race and duke it out with a lot of drivers, it seemed like, in this main event.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Was fortunate there on that one restart. Those guys kind of got bottled up. Was able to sneak around them on the high side, and able to hang on to third throughout the rest of the race. It was definitely tricky once the track slicked off. But having the fixed setup and everything, it made it a handful. I was just happy to keep it on the track when it was all over with.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about, with the viewers watching at home, how tough it was to keep the car on the track in that slick stuff, because I know Lernerville, you're right on the ragged edge, and then add that slick to it, and that seemed like where the car was the fastest, so everyone forced to jump up to that top side. It had to be very stressful and absolutely no mistakes.
Yeah, it was just you had to really balance the entry, keeping, if you didn't drive in hard enough, the car would want to push, and if you overdrove it, it'd snap loose. So there's just a real fine balance there. It was hard to work that and try to make lap time. That was the struggle.
Yeah, I tell you what, that seemed to be a handful. We saw Trevor trying some different lines, but it seemed like it was very tough to beat that kind of middle line in 1-2 at the beginning. But then as the race went on, top side, and always it seemed like the top side in 3 and 4 was that kind of where the speed was at in the 37 machine as well.
Yeah, definitely top side 3 and 4, and then you could use the momentum coming off 4 to switch your line up in 1 and 2. But eventually, it was still mostly around the top as well.
Yeah, it did seem like that. So Brandon, you're back on the podium after I think a little bit of string of kind of bad luck and getting stuck in the mid pack with some contacts and whatnot. You're back up on the podium. So how does that feel for the 37 machine? And kind of now that we're in the second half of the season, what's kind of the outlook for you going forwards here as the season starts to wind on up?
Anytime you can put it on the podium, it's a good feeling. Just as far as the rest of the season goes, just try to stay at it, just keep the consistency rolling.
Yeah, that's always the case. And Brandon, I'm going to go ask you for next week. A lot of people are usually divided about this track. How do you feel about the track of Weed Sport?
Man, I'm kind of torn myself. I've had some really bad races there and had some good races. It's real hit or miss. So like I said, hopefully we can keep the consistency rolling.
Yep, that would be key. And I tell you what, I think track position will be the key there, as it's kind of tough to pass, and knowing this group, we won't see too many cautions. So Brandon, before we let you go and celebrate this podium finish here tonight for the 37 machine, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank.
I just give a shout out to all the guys with the ASRC for putting this league on, giving us, a place to race. All my teammates with Hot Lap Heroes for helping me out. 789 Designs for the wrap on the car. Shout out to you guys with Turn 3 for putting on a great broadcast. My daughter for being my biggest fan and cheering me on. And shout out to the wife for letting me come in here and have some fun and race with these guys.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff for you, Brandon. Always a pleasure talking to you here in the booth. So I'm going to go let you go, and I'm hoping I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more here in the future, and you keep this good run going. So Brandon, you have yourself a great rest of the night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, folks, that was Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine. Now we'll dial up our second place finisher, that being Bobby Mattingly in the 3M. Bobby, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
Alrighty, man. I tell you what, that 3M once again looked pretty hooked up again on the podium here tonight. So, Bobby, tell us what you're seeing in that car as you kept Trevor honest.
Yeah, I did my best. This track's a little tricky to try to run the high side. And, I never can quite run the bottom like he did. I was starting to get a run on him off of 2, but I never could hit it consistently enough to even try to get close enough to throw a slide job at him, but I'll take another second.
Yeah, I tell you what, Bobby, a second is always great in this league. You know, a lot of great talent in this thing. And I tell you what, you're probably one of the best on that top side. Didn't seem like you moved off of it, but I tell you what, it had to be a handful there when it started to get slick, because you got to be very precise with putting this car on that top side.
Yeah, to keep your momentum and everything up, that line up there's pretty thin to run the cushion, and if you miss it by 2 inches, you're either going off, you're flipping, you're no longer going to be on the track. So I just tried to hit my marks and be as consistent as I could, and tried to run Trevor down, but unfortunately wasn't able to do that. But I think I'm getting a little more consistent and just giving him at least some competition. So so hopefully I can get one here soon.
Yeah, hopefully, Bobby, you have shown a lot of speed, especially here recently. And I tell you what, you're due for one if Trevor ever does make a mistake or has to start deep in a field for whatever reason. And I got to say, Bobby, how did you save that race car on the backstretch during that, I think, second to last restart with Kirby Deer inside? You had all 4 tires off that banking, and you somehow were able to drive that car back onto the speedway. And not only that, not lose any positions as well.
Well, I would like to say it's skill, but I think it was about 90% luck. I felt 3 tires off of the track, and really, to be honest with you, I cracked the throttle just for a second, got back in it, made sure the car was turned left, and I got lucky and held on to it. That's about all I can say.
Yeah, I was going to say, you had 3 tires leave the speedway because your left front and your fourth was way off the ground and way up in the air. I tell you what, it looked awesome from the broadcast, and I'm still amazed that you held on to the car, and not only that, held your position, because that was very impressive. So yeah, Bobby, looking forward to next week though, and the rest of the season. What's kind of the game plan, and how do you feel about Weed Sport? I know that track is a lot of hit or miss for drivers.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I kind of struggle there. The entry on 1 and 2 is real technical, and if you miss it just a little bit, same way in turns 3 and 4, it's generally on the bottom, and they're two pretty tight turns, and that inside wall, it comes up pretty quick on you, and it's a pretty technical track.
Yeah, that it is. It should be a great race, especially with this group of drivers. It's going to be a fun one to watch. I can't wait to call the shots up in the booth. But Bobby, I tell you what, you've been pretty impressive throughout this, especially second half of the season. You really turned up the heat, a lot of podiums, and you're becoming one of the regulars up here in the booth by the end of these races. So Bobby, I got to give you a big hand there. Hopefully you keep that streak alive, and hopefully here soon you do one better and park it down in victory lane. But Bobby, before we let you go and celebrate a runner-up finish once again, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 3M crew.
I've got to thank FMS, Rapid Graphix, Aaron, does awesome rap. I know we say it every week, but hit him up if you need one. Big Al's Guns, Keltner Contracting, Hugo's Trucking, T-Mat Speed Shop. Of course, that's Trevor. Teammates Trevor, Aaron, and Tanner. And let me think. I know I'm missing somebody. No, I take it back. Zach and them for putting on the league. And, of course, last but not least, thank you for putting on the broadcast. You do a hell of a job. I look forward to going back and watching the replays, and I think you do a fine job, sir.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Bobby. You have yourself a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more as you keep this momentum rolling for this 3M crew. Have yourself a great rest of the night.
Yep. Yes, sir. You too. Thanks.
All righty, folks, and now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man once again, that being T-Matt himself, Trevor Mattingly in the 13T. Trevor, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir.
All righty, we got you down here in the Lernerville Victory Lane. I tell you what, Trevor, we talked to you on the heat race. You get the job done once again. Keep the streak alive. And man, that car looked hooked up, and you're able to drive different lines and still hold people off. How was this car here tonight at the Lernerville Speedway?
Yeah, it felt good. Was a little looser on it exit in 3 and 4 than I'm normally used to, but we made it work.
Yeah, and made it work. You did. You know, you held off the field for all 50 laps, going green to checkers, leading all 50 laps. Trevor, heck of a job by you. I mean, I'm starting to run out of stuff to say from you doing so well each week, in and out. It seems like you for sure are the cream of the crop, the man to be. I feel like I talk about you like this every week, so I'm sure people are getting annoyed. But I tell you what, man, you put on a show each and every week. I mean, what's kind of your mindset, especially with tonight, how technical it was with no walls, you know, especially running that top side with the slick. I mean, was it just keep that rhythm and don't let that front end push and just, I don't know. What was going through your mind all race?
Yeah, like I said in the heat race interview, I kind of figured 1 and 2 was going to be middle to bottom. The top side was pretty burnt off, and that's what I was trying to mainly make work. And 3 and 4 was pretty dang slick up top, but you have to use the momentum off 3 and 4 to make 1 and 2. That pretty much makes or breaks you in 1 and 2 is the exit you get off 3 and 4. So as long as you can keep the momentum up in the 1 and 2, you can kind of run wherever you want to. And that top side was super slicked off, and you could use your momentum and shoot straight down the track and across the track. And that's what I kept doing. And Bobby was definitely making me nervous there at the end. He was inching closer and closer and closer. So I had to keep on my P's and Q's for sure.
Yeah, we saw you trying out that slider line in 1 and 2, and then all of a sudden, Bobby Manley especially closed that gap big time down the backstretch after a few laps, and we saw that 13T jump to that top side. Were you trying to see if that was going to be maybe a line throughout, maybe later in the run, and once you saw that 3M machine closing in that mirror, you took that preferred line once again?
Well, I tried to run the top a couple of times, and it just didn't feel as fast as that slider line in 1 and 2. So I kind of stuck to that. I kind of moved my line up a little bit the last 10 or 15 laps, and was expecting it to get to the bottom in 3 and 4, but it seemed like you couldn't get the momentum off the corner like you could running the high side, even though it was slicker and snot up there. But you had to keep that right rear right on that berm and shoot out of there. And if you missed it, you were going off for sure.
Yep, and you did a great job not doing that, keeping that right rear right in that line, and you do it to beauty each and every week, Trevor. I tell you what, it's awesome to see you work that car. And before we let you go, I mean, this has been almost a given occurrence now here recently, talking to me after these races, Trevor. You got to be starting feeling pretty good about these interviews, feeling right at home. But Trevor, before we let you go and celebrate another win for the 13T, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank.
Yeah, I got to thank Team at Speed Shop, all of my teammates, Tanner, Bobby, and Aaron. Aaron with FMS Rapid Graphics. He makes a killer wrap, and he's easy to work with, and he's a pretty cool guy as well. Like I said, I got to thank Bobby and Tanner. They both had good runs. Congratulate Bobby for second place. One of these days I'll mess up and he's going to get around me and I ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. But you for putting on the broadcast. It's very enjoyable to go back and watch, and you do a hell of a job broadcasting and announcing these races, so I really appreciate it. Zach and all them in the announcer booth, or not announcer booth, but admin booth. And like I've said, week in and week out, they run a hell of a league, and it's a very great time to run, and I look forward to it every Sunday. I honestly do. So ready for Weed Sport next week. Weed Sport's actually one of my favorite tracks, so we'll see if we can get it done.
Alrighty, I know a lot of people are divided about Weed Sport, so maybe people are looking to take advantage of you there, but you say it's one of your favorites, so the field going to have their work cut out for them, Trevor. But once again, huge congratulations for me in the booth. You are doing a heck of a job. I think this is 5th or 6th in a row, so Trevor, you enjoy another win, and we'll catch you on the flip side. As long as nothing major happens to you, I think we'll be talking to you a lot. So Trevor, once again, huge congratulations. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Yep, you as well, Trevor. Alrighty, folks, that was Trevor Mattingly down in victory lane. Once again, getting the job done here at the Lernerville Speedway. He leads all 50 laps after it's all said and done. So, folks, that will do it here from the race at Lernerville for race number 8 of the ASRC Pro Late Models. Can anyone stop Trevor Mattingly? That'll be the question of the hour. But at the moment, it looks like that is a big fat no, as he once again adds another win to that win column. So we'll run through tonight's finishing order of the race. Trevor Mattingly picks up the win. Bobby Mattingly will finish second. Third goes to Brandon Marlowe in the 37. Fourth is Blake Steele in the 12, holding off Tanner Hutchins in the 04, who will finish fifth. Sixth is Aaron Kirby in the 91. Seventh goes to Dave Payton. Eighth is Tanner Tallarico in the 1. Ninth is Daryl Larson in the 5. Rounding out the top 10 is Scott Erie in the 81. 11th is Tim Rogers in the 48. 12th is Dan Lloyd in the 9 machine. 12th is Michael Guerin in the 78. 13th is Jacob Laster in the 51. And rounding out the field tonight, not making the call, was Deontay Hero. Of course, we got to give a huge shout out to FMS Rapid Graphics. Be sure to check them out in the future for any wraps, whether that be sim stuff or real life stuff. A lot of the top, I think, almost everyone in the top 5 has some FMF Rapid Graphics wraps on it. They do a heck of a job, as you can see. They look fast and they're pretty fast. I tell you what, Trevor Mattingly puts them on and is almost a 10th quicker. So be sure to check out FMF Rapid Graphics for some sweet looking wraps that always pop on the broadcast. Of course, we got to shout out all the other sponsors, that being AJ's Auto Detailing, Hubco Metal Fab, QuickTime Motorsports Media, Pay to Win Setups, Race1.us, the RC Pro Shops, and of course tonight's sponsor, FMS Rapid Graphics. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth from Turn 3 Race Network. Be sure to tune in to Turn 3 throughout the week, as we got a lot of great races, a lot of great series to broadcast, and be sure to tune on in. Got to give a shout out to ASRC as they put on another great series. Be sure to check them out at AmericanSimRacingClub.com if you want to find out more. And everyone, we'll be ready next week for Weed Sport for race number 9. Everyone take care, have a safe one, and we'll catch you on the flip side. I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you from Lernerville. Have a good one, everyone, and thank you for tuning on in.